Hello, everyone. Welcome to First 11. It's an absolute pleasure to be able to introduce Phillip Russel today. Phillip is part of the FordZilla racing team, sim racing team. And thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Good stuff. So we've been sort of interviewing different drivers, and it was great to connect with you and find out more about FordZilla and the plans and ambition that you guys have as a team. Obviously, Ford needs no introduction, but this kind of new approach to Ford's alignment with esports is very cool. But before we get into all that, I'd love to learn more about how you started getting into video games, sim racing, and getting into basically becoming part of an esports team.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, basically it all started when I was very young. So I was must be about 8 years old or 9 years old. My dad took me to a go-kart track, indoor go-kart track local to me. Absolutely terrified when I first got in. And yeah, I had to go on there, and I started doing quite well. I won my first championship aged 10, and I was like, oh, here we go, something I'm interested in. And it kind of went progress from there. I did a bit of national go-karting, and then we made the jump up to cars. So I did Ginetta Junior Championship with a shared drive with my brother, which was very it was a tough learning curve. But again, it was budget that held us back, hence why we had to share the drive between us two.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had a head of a blast. We did half a season, and like I said, it was just the money thing that stopped us. We did a bit of Formula Renault testing in Belgium and did all that kind of thing, all those kind of things, which is absolutely amazing. One of the best things I've ever done in my life, in a way. So, but yeah, the budget ran out, and then it kind of, the motorsport thing kind of fizzled out for me, because obviously the dream kind of died, and obviously as a young, teenager, there was no way I could fund it myself. So yeah, time went by, and then came along 2018. My mother-in-law bought me Project Cars 2 for Christmas. Didn't think anything of it at the time. I kind of stuck it on, did some online lobbies, and some chap said to me, "So, oh, are you interested in joining the league?" And I was like, "Oh, why not?" I was playing on a pad back then. I thought, do you know what? Let's invest in a steering wheel and pedals from Argos. So I went popped down to Argos, bought a Thrustmaster TMX pedal set and wheel set. And yeah, I joined the league. It was Actual Vision League. I'm sure you might have heard of him before. Luke Crane. He does his leagues and stuff like that. He has absolute tons, and he does now real life commentary in the DTM Trophy. So yeah, it all started from there really, and yeah, just kind of progressed. And I joined his team, ACR. Did about a year with them, and then I left and actually tried to form a team with an esports team with Barrage Esports. They're mostly known for obviously the League of Legends kind of side of things. But yeah, I tried to, I was their first driver they signed, and then I got a couple more drivers from leagues I've played in before that I thought were pretty good. They joined, and unfortunately, it didn't I don't know, it didn't work out. I mean, Barrage did everything he could, but I think because of the knowledge of sim racing wasn't there, it kind of didn't go where we wanted it to go. We had a few plans and stuff, but it kind of, I think it fizzled out, and we thought, you know what, it's probably time to part ways. And we left on good terms and everything, so it was all good. So yeah, I joined a team called CXR then. So I've been around the block a bit, but joined a team called CXR, and yeah, had a blast with them as well. Did some racing with them, and then FordZilla came about. I contacted them about a project I was looking at doing, and then it kind of went from there. I thought, you know what, well, let's ask for if I could, join the team as a driver, because Ford is, a massive brand. It's huge. And I thought, this is a great opportunity, and they said, yeah, give it a go. Did a few time trials with them, and yeah, it all worked out well. Now I'm with Ford. I've been with them since March, April kind of time. So yeah, it's a great team to be part of. Obviously, it's been a bit hindered this year with the COVID, but I'm sure if next year, if I stay with the team, it's going to be a good year, and hopefully we can do some activities together that I'm sure you'll see on social media and stuff like that. So yeah, that's how I got
Very
into the sim
cool.
racing
Yeah,
thing.
I think
Yeah.
one of the things that was refreshing is looking at FordZilla. So if you go to the main team, FordZilla.com, and have a look,
Yeah.
the kind of the diverse nature of the drivers that are in the teams, and the fact you've got different teams in different countries, and the
Yeah.
fact that it's so big and it's only launched 2019. So,
Yeah. That's
but
it.
I think what's also refreshing is the fact that it has something that sort of is in sync with kind of what we're doing, which is inclusivity, fun, keeping it open, and keeping fun at the heart of what you guys do, which I think is quite cool. Rather than, and you
100%.
get
Yeah.
that sense of, I don't know whether Ford have that approach because their cars, in a way, have always been accessible. Do you know what I mean? Like, yes, you
Yeah,
can
yeah,
buy an incredible car. A Ford Mustang is accessible power. You know,
yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, definitely. But yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I mean, I watched a video clip on YouTube recently, about FordZilla and stuff like that, and how it kind of started. And they even mentioned in there, they didn't want to be Ford Esports. They wanted to make it a bit more fun, and that's why they came up with the name Team FordZilla.
yeah,
Just so it's just a bit more funky. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it kind of sticks out from the rest. But yeah, no, they've definitely got the same kind of attitudes, like you said. You guys are kind of working at as well. So yeah,
yeah.
just
No, it's
yeah,
great synergy there. And so,
yeah,
when you've got so many different drivers, different teams, different countries, I think iRacing is the key sort of game or sort of sim.
yeah.
But how do you go to them and say, do you know what, I'm absolutely amazing at Forza. I'd love to try and like push this, or I'm really good at a different game, or do they say, look, we have ambitions to win this, and this, and you guys kind of like adapt your style to
Yeah,
fit the
so
objective?
Yeah, so I think most people come in with a preferred sim. So like when I first joined, I came in preferred. My preferred sim was iRacing.
Yeah,
I was still doing a bit of project cars at the time, but I was kind of moving towards iRacing. So I did say I'll do that as well. But yeah, it varies. Most people kind of like switch it up. I personally find it difficult to switch between games, like just with the
yeah,
physics and stuff. So I try and focus solely on one at the time. So if I'm, I don't really want to make my brain like fizzle out kind of thing. So I just stick to one at a time. But I have noticed we have a Discord chat going, and I noticed people switch between the two. So like Set a Corsa seems quite popular at the minute.
mm,
Um, and yeah, we tend to do like time trial events in the team. So if obviously if you fancy racing in a certain championship, a big championship, let's say, we would then do a time trial between all the drivers who want to take part, and then the top three, or top four, depending on how many drivers are allowed in the championship, they would enter the team, and yeah, they would race in that championship. So obviously Ford want the best drivers in that league. They want to win the championship. So
yeah.
it's totally understandable. So yeah, that's kind of how it works at the minute. But yeah, I'm sure there's different ways that people do it as well. So
Yeah. I think when you say Ford, to me, Ford racing anyway, like Le Mans is the first thing that pops into my head. And probably
yeah,
I kind of thought that prior to the movie. And the movie, it was incredible, the Le Mans 66 or Ford versus
yeah,
Ferrari, depending where you're from.
that's
But
it.
is that, I was chatting to the other guys the other day, that the Le Mans, I know you entered that, but the Tom also, who's part of First 11,
Yeah.
commentated on one of the first Le Mans sim races,
Okay. Yeah.
which was like
Yeah.
an endurance sort of event, which
Yeah.
seems really cool, that you have this sort of ability to kind of have the same mentality and mindset to approach Le Mans as maybe Ford would do it, but you don't have to
Yeah.
spend millions and millions of dollars
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
car.
Definitely 100%. I think this is the good thing about sim racing in
Yeah,
general. It's just so open to any driver to take part in as such. Obviously, I think most of the time these like big championships, they have to have like a certain I rating, or depending on what championship you're doing it in. But yeah, it's very very open, which is good. And obviously, like I said, you're not blowing the budget like they do in the real life
yeah,
racing.
yeah,
So
exactly.
it's kind of it's
Yeah.
really good. So yeah,
And then I saw one of the guys was using a VR headset, which was really cool to
yeah,
see. I've
yeah,
only just started to see that.
yeah.
Have you given that a go? Does that, because some people use it and makes you feel a bit sick, a bit nauseous?
Yeah,
Um,
I've not had the opportunity to use it. I have been thinking about it as an option, because of space in my house. Like I'm sure, I think that's what Jack said as well. He said just down to space, he's gone for the VR. But yeah, I have thought about it. I think it definitely adds the real factor to it. So it could be a good option for people who want to get that effect. But yeah, I have heard stories like you said. People feel a bit sick afterwards, because
yeah,
I guess you're taken away from the real world, aren't you? So
yeah.
yeah, it's definitely cool. I think it would be quite good to use though. Personally, I wouldn't mind using it one day if I
Yeah,
if
I've
I get the chance though.
one of my favorite games this year is Star Wars Squadrons, which is really cool, and you
Okay.
can use the
Yeah.
VR headset in that. But I think flying around space with a
Yeah.
headset, I think I might need a vomit
uh,
bucket next to me.
yeah.
It's,
It is interesting to see where the future goes with VR. 'Cause I always say to friends and family, like it's crazy, because you kind of think, where can they go next to it? Because these virtual reality worlds they're building nowadays. it's going to be like this a day when you can have a motion pad on the floor that you're walking on that you don't move, and you're walking this completely fake world.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things I
It's
thought would be
crazy.
cool is almost like this. I watched the Ready Player One, and I thought that's this kind of bringing together,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
let's definitely see that sort of direction. But if there was a
definitely,
way
yeah.
that you could jump in with a VR headset and that you're racing a robot drone car around
Oh,
a track, that'd be super cool.
pretty cool. Yeah, definitely.
Cool. And that sort of talking of cars that look super futuristic, the P1, I've been sort of
Oh
looking at
yeah,
that. It's like a
yeah,
project which is very cool in the sense that almost you guys and Ford pose the question to the community, design the coolest car you can think of,
yeah,
and there you go. So I
yeah.
mean,
It
what?
looks pretty. It looks pretty spectacular. I can say that for sure.
So is the plan that there's obviously things that are meant to be a surprise, but I've seen the teasers on that. But ideally, that's something that people will be able to race themselves, or like it'll feature in games, or
I'm assuming that I don't know much about it at the minute,
no.
but I'm assuming that's somewhere where it's going. I think they've given the public the opportunity to design this car, and I think it'd be absolutely amazing if they can let them race it as well. I think that's the goal for Ford.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure where, and I don't know
No.
when, but I'm sure it'd be pretty epic because, like I said, the car looks pretty spectacular. So
Very cool. And so Ford have this kind of interesting approach that they're American, but they have such a legacy within the European motorsport scene,
yeah,
and in Europe. Are there plans to do things in the US? Because obviously that's the home turf for Ford, and
yeah, yeah,
you've got kind of really good teams across Germany, UK, France. I think different places. I may be wrong, but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
are you looking to roll it out over there as well? Once,
I think where the team's going in a minute, I think they, like I said, we've got the sections of different teams in different countries, which is
yeah,
is great. But I do think they're going with the path down the path of maybe whoever's the fastest, wherever they come from, join the team kind of
that's
thing.
it.
So
Yeah.
the USA could be one of the people. If someone's from the USA and they're really fast, I think that could be a market they might go into. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah, good, very cool. And I'm just thinking about the best tracks that you guys, in terms of sim racing. So you've done Donington as your favorite track.
Yeah,
Are there
yeah.
tracks that are notoriously difficult, like that you go, do you know what? It's you've got a nemesis track that's just impossible. Maybe there's
Top
a
of my head,
shared kind of approach across the team. You're like, oh god, not
yeah.
Spa again, or
I,
what?
I'm not too sure to be honest. I mean, obviously, I always struggle with the I can't say it, the Nurburgring,
Yeah,
the big circuit. That's very challenging. It's one of those circuits you got to remember where the corners are and where the bumps are and stuff like that. And I've always struggled with it, but I know other people love it. So, but yeah, no, I can't off the top of my head.
no.
Yeah, I can't really think of one off the top of my head that I don't really like apart from that one at the minute. So.
Well, that's fair. So,
Yeah.
if you could win a championship in any iconic Ford car, what would it be? And you could pick, I guess, a single seater car, but what?
Yeah. Ooh, I don't, the Ford GT, that's
Yeah,
pretty
it's got to
special.
be
That
that.
car, that's got to be that. Yeah, and obviously it's very iconic in the Ford motorsport kind of scene. So I would say that'd be pretty cool to win for the Ford esports team in a Ford GT. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's the kind of route in? So I know you guys are focused on really trying to up the ante and win some championships and win some, put some P1s on the board.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Cool.
what's your way in? So like, for example, you guys launched at the gaming convention. Was it kind of like an open invitation, like come on the stand, have a few races. If we think you're good, we'll give you a drive. Or is it now like you have to win certain like events to have a shot before?
Well, at the start, I believe I came in a bit of a different route, but
Yeah,
I know they did an invitational thing. Well, not invitational; anyone could turn up. So they did a thing at the Red Bull Sphere in
yeah.
London, like a time trial thing, and you can turn up. Whoever set the fastest time joined the team and got a contract. I know they did that, but I think the way it's going now, I think they've got their baseline of drivers, and now it's kind of we want the fastest drivers out there now. So I think it's more of a CV basis kind of thing. So whatever you've won, if you've won big championships, then
They
they will
come to
probably
you.
consider
Yeah,
you. Yeah, for
yeah,
sure. So I think that's the path they're going down. Obviously, they're going to keep their amateur drivers on because it's still good publicity on
yeah.
social media and stuff like that. Because you're still going to be sharing stuff, and it's good for them to progress as well because it's almost like a bit of an academy. academy worth drivers, and they hopefully progress to the pro contracts and become better and become those fast drivers and top 50 in the world kind of drivers. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm really looking forward to seeing how you guys track next year. It's it's a team I wasn't that aware of, and obviously having sort of had the chance to meet you guys and learn more about it, it's super exciting and it seems very
definitely.
very fresh. So
definitely.
thank you so much for your time and the hot lap.
No worries at all.
And there'll be more info on that on first11fun.com. And if you guys are interested about FordZilla, check out teamfordzilla.com.
Fantastic. Cheers, Chris. Thank you.
Thanks, Phil.